Yay! Bam. Hey, everybody. Howdy. We're going live tonight on YouTube. So I hope there's somebody out there listening. We got a few things we want to talk about today. We got some good stuff to talk about today, too. So we're going to start out talking about a few of the tricks and stuff they do in court to illegally dismiss your cases. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about some things that are happening in our private Facebook page and citizenship stuff. Let's start out with the citizenship stuff. So the state citizenship. I have a document on my website, and there's also video. You can find the video. Now, this process is not part of my program, but it's a cool process, and I completed it myself to use it to protect me when they started harassing me. Hang on one second. And so when you reclaim your state citizenship by following this passport process, video's frozen. Okay. When you reclaim your state citizenship by following the passport process, this passport process, you can find the information about it on YouTube. It's called how to get on the do not detain list, and that passport process puts you in a position to reclaim your state citizenship, and you will get a card showing that you are a state citizen of the Republic state that you were born in. Now, hey, Alexander Neighbors, he says the pre-file investigation sanction motion, the attorneys cannot answer it. No, they can't. And we got a new one out now. It's the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, and they haven't been able to answer that at all. And if you stop and think about it, when you file a jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, they have to counter respond with counter affidavit, and they can't. So that's the problem for them. And the students in the online course are using that document as a lead-in document to give them to actually block their foreclosure process in state court. It jams it up all but good. And then you file your lawsuit in federal court, and then you use that whole situation in state court they can't respond to as evidence to your lawsuit in federal court. And you can show that state court did not have jurisdiction and that they shouldn't have even filed in state court. And you can show that and tell the federal court that we need to just go straight into the settlement negotiations because there's no need for a trial. And one of the things that you want to address when you're going through this process is when you file that affidavit challenging the jurisdiction, okay, they'll try all kinds of ways to get out of that. But if they don't respond by counter affidavit, they have not responded properly. And that document also has a motion to moot all of the documents that's been filed in their case until they verify jurisdiction on the record. And you have to file the two at the same time because you're using the motion to moot to block everything that they filed on court record until they can prove jurisdiction. And they haven't been able to get past that yet. And that's why we have it in the online course. So one of the things that the attorneys try to do is they try to dismiss your case. Now, we're going to talk about some of the tricks that they use in court to try to get out of responding to your lawsuit. Now, remember, I work with people from all over the United States in my private Facebook page. So I get real-time feedback on how they're trying to do all this stuff, which allows me to make changes and stuff to the document, like like real time, and then let everybody in the Facebook page know, whoever is needing this the document with the changes, to send me a private message, and that's kind of how we do that. Okay, so the attorneys have been going in and trying to dismiss your lawsuit in federal court that you filed. And they have been trying to dismiss it. Well, the judge always tries to dismiss it under Rule 12B of failure to state a claim. We'll talk about that later. But the attorneys are trying to dismiss it and claiming that federal court don't have jurisdiction. One attorney claimed federal court didn't have jurisdiction because they were in another state, which is totally ridiculous. But you know what? At the end of the day, state court do not have jurisdiction to hear what they filed in state court. And I'll tell you why. State court does not have jurisdiction to hear what they filed in that court because the attorney is considered a foreign agent. And a foreign agent cannot file a claim in state court. They have to file in federal court, because that would be like someone from another country suing you in state court. No, that's not the way that rolls. So that's a fatal flaw right there to the action that the attorneys filed in state court. Okay, they should not have filed it in state court because they're considered a foreign agent, and they have not completed the Foreign Agent Registration Act requirements, and that's called FARA. You can look up FARA or the Foreign Agent Registration Act, and you'll see that it actually is a law, a federal law that was enacted, and it forces these attorneys to it forces these foreign agents to have to disclose a whole bunch of information they don't like to have to share. So, and they don't usually register, and you can use that to stick in their face. But one guy told me, well, I told the judge that, and the judge didn't want, well, that ain't gonna help you kick their butt. You need to be having your own lawsuit filed in another court, forcing the issue in your action. People are lied to by these attorneys, and they're told, oh, you can't do nothing until they get done with the lawsuit and blah, blah, blah. That's not true. As soon as they let you know that, as soon as they claim you're in default and post that stuff someplace, you're ready to go. You do not have to wait. As a matter of fact, that's the beauty of our program. We don't wait, okay? We get right on over to federal court and we file your title dispute in federal court, and you trump everything that they're doing in state court, and you move it all over to federal court, because you already know that state court can't make any determinations on anything that's filed in federal court. But here's the beautiful part of it. When you get done adding the attorneys, if you follow the program, you'll put yourself in the same position as Shamel Maxwell. She's somebody from the group. We'll talk about her in a little while. If you follow the program, you're going to add the attorneys to your lawsuit as an everyone defendant. Because if you look in chat, the attorney's signature is the only signature that's on the documents that's used to initiate the foreclosure against your house, okay? And the law firm second. And when you do that, that creates a problem for the attorneys, because the attorneys cannot represent themselves in court. They can't litigate a case they're party to, and they're not allowed to go into court and represent the law firm that they're affiliated with. It's considered pro se representation, and it's not allowed. So when you attack them that way, you back them into a nice little corner. And we have several nice little corners that we like to back them into. And this one particular nice little corner, I like to set people up to use this as their appeal issue. And the way you do that is, once you attack the attorney and add the attorney in your lawsuit in federal court, then the attorney has to hire outside counsel to represent them. Well, most attorneys that are doing state court stuff can't go into federal court anyway, but they have to hire somebody because you put their name on there as an everyone defendant. And you're claiming that they are unlawfully collecting as a third-party debt. They're unlawfully foreclosing as a third-party debt collector. And that's what you're claiming. and breach contract, wrongful foreclosure, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But when you claim that, okay, and they hire and they call to get another attorney, the attorney's going to freak out when they find out that you're suing them in federal court for unlawful foreclosure, acting as a third-party debt collector with no consideration or standing to do so. The attorney they're trying to hire is not going to want to help them. And I'll tell you why. I mean, I see it all the time, but I'll tell you why the attorney's not going to help them. Because they're doing the same stinking thing. And if they help them, they're going to end up in the same position, because those new attorneys know that you know the deal. They know that you already know that they're all doing fraudulent activity. And if you're smart enough to add the attorney and the law firm to your lawsuit as number one and number two defendant, it's not going to take a brain surgeon to figure out that whoever else steps in and help them is going to be added also. So what happens now is the judge has to allow them to proceed pro se against the rules. And I had a lady talking to me one day, and she's defending her rental properties. And I was telling her about that. And she's like, well, that's what I'm going to be doing. I said, well, why are you worried about it? She said, well, they're going to try and stop me from doing that. Well, they can't stop you from doing it if they're letting the attorney do it. She's like, oh, that's a good point. Hey, I just called the attorney and said, hey, I won't bitch if you're doing it. If you don't bitch if I'm doing it, maybe we'll see how this works. Because I tell you right now, if everybody's in agreement with it, they're not going to, they're going to try to figure out some other way to throw you out, because they're not going to be able to throw you out for doing what he's doing, and that person's illegally doing it. Well, they could try, but it's really not going to work out very well for them, because we don't really play around. So now we're getting interesting, and we have a couple of other strategies that we use to put yourself in a situation for your appeal. And if you're going to appeal, then you want to appeal the law, show all that stuff, and then before you file your notice of appeal, you always want to file the package, a reconsideration package. It has a motion for reconsideration. You take all of the stuff, the file stamp copies of the issue, and you attach them to the motion for reconsideration so that the other judge can see them. And you file that against the judge's order. You also attach a copy of the judge's order in there. And once you file your motion for reconsideration, the same day you can also file your motion to recuse the judge. Because people don't realize that in order to recuse a judge, you don't have to prove it. All you have to do is show the appearance of impartiality. And yeah. And then once you file your motion to recuse the judge, you can also file your notice of claim against the judge for violation of the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946 and a bunch of other stuff. And then after you get all that stuff filed, then you can file your appeal, your notice of appeal, okay? Because once you do that, it removes the jurisdiction from the lower court, unless they want to stop playing and pull the thing out and let you pass. And I've seen that happen a whole bunch of times, because a lot of the times they don't want their dirt going over to the appellate court. Not dirty laundry they can't clean up and make look good. So that's kind of one of the ways we do that. You'll find out that it's not about all of your stuff and the nuts and bolts. It's going to be about strategy and you forcing them to visualize the shared liability and backing them into the corner. That's what it's going to be about. So when they start trying to dismiss your case, because when the attorneys are trying to dismiss your case that you have filed in federal court, because they're claiming that federal court don't have jurisdiction, then you need to let them know that state court don't have jurisdiction and there's no other court for you to go to. And the reason state court don't have jurisdiction is because the attorneys are foreign agents and as such must file in federal court. If you're filing a lawsuit against somebody in another state, you have to file in federal court. If you're filing in another country, you have to file in federal court. They get away with this all the time because nobody's picked at their loopholes like I have. And no one's decided to stick her in their face like we do. So that's how you want to handle that. So, and one of the other things that they do is, and this is real slick one that they try, they answer on behalf of the lender and move to dismiss on behalf of the lender. And the lender, they say the lender doesn't have anything to do with the foreclosure or the loan, this part of the loan. And it's ridiculous that they even try that, because see, here's the deal. At the end of the day, the jury's going to decide how the liability is split up and what percentage of the $5 million that the $5.5 million that they're all going to have to pay. And the attorney can say the lender didn't have nothing to do with it, but that's not true, because the lender's fraud is what put you in this position. And when I say lender's fraud, we want to go back to the 6 things that we claim are missing out of the contract. And we also want to address the fact that the foreclosure statute that they're using to provide jurisdiction to the court is not a valid law, because it's missing the 3 elements necessary to be a valid law. And that would be the enacting clause, that would be the title, and that would be the bodies. Revised codes and statutes do not have those elements to be considered a valid law. And people don't challenge that. All day long we do, and we got people still in our house. My goal of helping you is to help you get to stay in your house. Okay, that's it. The lawsuit and all that, you can do that later after you get to stay in your house. So, one of the things that people need to understand is the court is not, people think that the judge is going to be fair. Okay, the judge is a bar member too, okay? And they're all in there to take care of business, and that business is not helping you. So when you go into court, you need to understand it's not going to be fair. You are in an administrative court. It has no jurisdiction. It has no judicial authority. You're in an administrative court, and the only way that you're able to hold them to fire is doing the things that we're doing by challenging the jurisdiction and spreading the liability. We keep going back to that word of spreading the liability. But when you're in that court, you need to understand that you don't have any rights, and unless you're willing to do whatever it takes to see that they're, and a lot of people freak out as soon as the judge starts yelling at you, and that whatever it takes, it gets thrown out the window because of fear. So I'll tell you right now, people should never let fear decide your fate. And if you have this fear, you need to park it, or just do it scared. At the end of the day, that's where you're at. It needs to get done. Hey, who else here? You guys punch in and let me know who's here. I'm taking roll. Hang on one second. Okay, so the state citizenship stuff, we were talking about that a little bit. So you guys should look up that how to get on the do not detain list video on YouTube, and follow the instructions of that video to get on the do not detain list, so that you can get your state citizenship card and reclaim that. And then usually, so we are using the state citizenship issue to challenge the court's jurisdiction. And we have 2 cases where the whole case is stalled. And not only was it stalled, but the documents that we filed verifying the state citizenship, which was a color copy of your passport and the affidavit, those documents were sealed in the case in state court. It still blew the case up, and they had a hard time moving forward, and now they weren't able to respond to jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. Hello, Floyd, Harold. and they're having trouble responding to the jurisdiction announcement of the affidavit. They actually couldn't respond to the motion to moot all of the filings in the case until jurisdiction was proved on the record. And when the time came that they were supposed to respond to that, they still didn't respond. So we followed up with our motion for a summary judgment, and we just served it on the court. We didn't send the parties it because they're in default. And we just asked the judge to rule on the pleadings that are filed in the case. And we haven't heard nothing on it. It's been like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. You know, they have a hard time getting something done when they get their butt handed to them on a platter. So Shamel Maxwell, she's in our foreclosure group, Foreclosure Rescue Facebook page. And she contacted me today and let me know, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a screen share, maybe I can figure that out. Let me see what we're gonna share. Screen one, that's the one we're gonna share. Give me a second here, let me move down there. Okay. So here's the post that I was posting, just to kind of paste and copy her thing in there. But this is her right here. Let me find the beginning of it. So, yeah, here we go. So she's just saying she hopes all's well, and she's in school and she's following and checking. She's been keeping track on what's going on, and the person who backed off the sale filed to be reimbursed. And he told her that he found discrepancies. He's asked him to be reimbursed because he found discrepancies in the mortgage and in the filings from her dad. Yeah, I bet they found some discrepancies in that document that she filed and stuck in their face. And one of the discrepancies that they're talking about are the 6 things that we said were missing. The 6 things are a problem. And not only that, also a problem is the fact that the foreclosure statute does not have the necessary elements to be considered a valid law. Bam! So this guy is trying to suck up to them now, saying that, he found out that all that stuff was true when his legal team looked into it after she filed her, right. And the dude's telling them that their grandma got ripped off in the beginning of the mortgage contract. I'm like, okay, so they all got ripped off. But I told her that they need to just tell that dude to go take a walk. They don't have nothing to say to him, okay? Because we're past all of that, okay? They are at the table for the $5.5 million, okay? We ain't got time to talk about what happened in the beginning 20 years ago, okay? We tell them what's going on right now. And I told her if it was me, I would tell that dude that he needs to not talk to you because his attorney is not gonna like him talking to you. Because on your lawsuit that you filed, you have a little thing over in the corner, you reserve the right to amend. And you may be adding him to your lawsuit to prove the fraud. And the fraud that I'm talking about is, so let me ask you a question. So the property that her dad's property did not sell. all the stuff. She put everything. The sale did not take place. The sale did not take place on the record. Now, I have a thought, and I haven't really shared this with too many people, but my thinking is the sale takes place, the transaction takes place a long time before the foreclosure is done and all that smoke is cleared. All that is just after the fact paperwork. And Shamel's dad's situation verifies that. She checked the courthouse, she checked the paperwork at the auction house, all that. Nobody's selling her stuff. But you got this dude who wants to get his money back. So how does that work out? How does a dude need to get his money back if the freaking sale didn't take place? He's trying to convince her that he ain't the dirty one. Yeah, we already know they all dirty. This is going to get really interesting. And I'll tell you, people who follow the program in a timely manner put themselves in this position, the same position Shamel is in. Jay and Sue Boyer, they're both in the group. They started with me when I first started the lawsuit packages a little over a year ago. And they're in Texas in a non-judicial, and they're still in their house. And I found out the other day, the judge is retired and the new attorneys haven't responded, and oh, they have a lot of problems. And B, she's still in her house. And she started right after Jay and Sue Boyer. And there's others. I remember those guys because they were the first ones, and we've been like really standing on top. Once you start this process and you back them in the corner, they stall. That's what they do. They stall. Now, for us, my goal is help you stay in your house. So if they're stalling, that's great. We're going to keep getting stuff on them, keep smacking them in the face until something happens. You know, the other foreclosure that I'm helping someone with that has been a project that I've mentioned in the group a whole bunch of times. Yeah, that stalled, and they weren't able to answer. That was the case that I was talking about. We filed a motion for summary judgment, and we did not serve the attorneys because they're in default. We asked the judge to rule on documents as filed in the case. So we're thinking about going in and filing a motion to dismiss for failure to litigate the case, because I know part of the problem is they don't want to dismiss it and show everybody that they don't have jurisdiction because the statute that they're using is not a valid law, and that there's 6 things missing. They don't want to talk about all that stuff. So if we can get them to dismiss it and dismiss it off of, for failure to litigate the case, as far as the $5.5 million, I'll tell you this, that if your goal is to get to stay in your house, then you're going to use that $5.5 million to get to stay in your house. That's kind of how I see it. So also, I want to tell you guys, let me pull that up too. That's nice. I got this screen share thing. I can show you guys some stuff. So I have an attorney. Oh, well, I don't think he's an attorney. He claimed to be an investigator Let's see if I can find him here. From the California Bar Association. And he got a complaint from John Lee, who I think's in our YouTube group, have been watching me on YouTube. So he got a complaint from John Lee that I was involved in the unauthorized practice of law without a license. So let me see if I can find his. Maybe that's it. Yep, that's it. So when, and I don't want you guys to freak out or nothing, because I got this. So this is probably the 8th or 9th state that wanted to come after me for the unauthorized practice of a law without a license. And I'm sure you guys can see I'm still here. So this is the stupid letter that they sent me. Are you kidding me right now? The unauthorized practice of law without a license. They're a little pissed off at my limited property tax lawsuit package. I don't know why. Oh, they also talk about lawsuit packages for legal malpractice and medical conditions and notice of claim. See, they're sloppy. Medical conditions, are you kidding me? That's not medical condition, that's a HIPAA complaint letter. So they checked out their registered attorney system and it reveals that I'm not licensed to practice law in the state of California. Well, you know what, Mr. State of California people? Okay, it's not about the law. In 1933, when you fools went from revised codes, from the statutes at large to revised codes and statutes, it's no longer about the law, it's about public policy. Codes and statutes are rules from a corporation. They don't have anything to do with the law and they don't have the elements to be considered valid. So yeah, I sent him a little bit of email. We're gonna scroll down here. According to the Business and Professional Code. Now a code is lower than a statute. A code is like above an ordinance. And ordinances are in the toilet. And the codes are in the toilet too. You still have not got to the lid yet. And statutes, they're also in the toilet. You have not got to the lid yet. So they want me to send them all the, yeah. I mean, I'm like reading this. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Yeah. So one of the things that they don't understand is that with the internet, it's leveled the playing field now a lot. And we never need attorneys anyway, because they don't help nobody with nothing. So here you go. This is the first thing I sent to them. I love this page. It's usually not too far down the list because I have a lot of attorneys attack my ads or my posts on Facebook or my YouTube. You know, they'll attack, they get up in my face talking all this crap. They're appalled because I'm practicing law without a license, blah, blah, blah. Well, according to this, okay, attorneys are not licensed by the nature of the lawyer craft as per the United States Supreme Court. And they state the practice of law cannot be licensed by any state. Swear versus Board of Examiners. Thank you. And you're welcome. So that's it. And I'll post this down there. You know, if there's anybody that's interested in being a paralegal. So they're giving me a hard time because I have a website and that I'm offering the property tax package and some other stuff for you guys to look at. So they have not done their homework. Okay, and that's the thing about attorneys. They don't do their homework. If they'd done their homework, they would have been able to see that I have online paralegal school. That's gonna piss them off. Yeah, and I have 1.5 courses. Well, actually, I'm working on the non-judicial lawsuit DYI course right now. And the judicial course is up and rolling. And I'm going to open it up so that you guys can take a look at it. And this is what our sale page looks like. Bam! Ain't that pretty? Got to work real hard on it. So, and here's my logo up here in the top corner. And it just talks a little bit about the conventional and non-conventional course. And we're non-conventional, and about what we do. And then it shows the course curriculum here. And you can see these are the videos. So the course curriculum is courses, lectures, videos, and pictures. And eventually when we get full, like 5 or 6 people or whatever, then we can also have Zoom meetings to talk about different things that people, we can have it set up to where people can work together from individual states in different rooms to work on, whatever needs to, whatever you guys need to share with each other and provide support. I'm also going to open up a new Facebook page that we could go to just for the online students, because in this online course, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things that you guys paid for, and we don't want to provide it for people who haven't paid and joined the course. So in the foreclosure rescue private page, we have mostly people there that have invested in the lawsuit packages, and they communicate there, and that's, and so that's kind of how we're going to do that. And you can see a little about the instructor, the resources. Now, the banker's ultimate fear came from the PDF, the Banker's Secret Manual. And there's one chapter in there, and it's called The Banker's Ultimate Fear or something to that effect. And that chapter was totally the bomb. And it gave me some great ideas that we implemented in the new documents that the online students will be using. And now, when you enroll, you will get a copy of that PDF. It's like 246 pages or something like that. And you will be able to use it to make your own documents or to beef up your documents, or at least to harass the attorneys. I tell people, make a script from stuff that you need to ask them for, they don't want to talk about, and you just call them up. And the first time you may get to talk to an attorney, but when they figure out who you are, the gatekeeper is going to always send you to the voicemail. And you just read your script. You have your script written down, and you just read your script right into the phone, like you know what you're talking about. And basically what you're doing is you're letting that attorney know that you know more stuff, because it ain't about the case law and all that crap. It's about the facts. It's about the facts of what happened at the gate. And when you let them know you know that, you force them into a position where they don't want to have you in court. Now, one of the things that people are off base on is the fact that, and I'll ask you, when you're in court, who do you think's in charge? The judge or the attorney? I'll give you a minute. Okay, time's up, pencils down. For those of you who said the judge, you just got hosed, okay? The attorney is the one in charge when you get to court. And as a matter of fact, before you get to court, the attorney's already communicated with the judge how that whole thing's gonna go, okay? And if you think I'm off base, you think back in your head how shit went when you was in court. It was like, you probably left there thinking, damn, it was like they rehearsed that. Yeah. No, the judge does what the judge is told. I had a situation, and I won't say what state it's in because I don't, ain't anybody's business where I'm helping people at. And if you want to find out, then you need to go do your work. But it was in a judicial state, and the lady had all of her stuff filed, but she was scared to go to the attorney's office and stick the stuff in the attorney's face. And she was in a position where she only had a few days. And but she had file stamp copies. And so they showed her about her house to put her out. And she showed her file stamp copies to, well, first she called me. I'm like, lady, what the hell? I can't help you. And she showed her file stamp copies to the sheriff's department, and they called the judge and they asked the judge what to do. Now that was the right thing to do. You know what the judge did? The judge told them to call the attorneys. Yep. And see, these are things that I get to learn from helping all of these people, because one person wouldn't be exposed to all of the things that I've been able to see over the last bunch of years that I've been doing this. So that was really interesting. So we're just going to scroll down here so you guys can see the rest of the stuff that's in the course. Now, I did add an additional thing to the course after the fact, and I'm actually going to add another thing to the course after the fact. The other thing I'm going to add that I have not added yet is a lecture and a video on how to structure the lawsuit documents. And I want to make sure that you guys learn, if you invest in this course, that you learn how to do the whole thing that I'm doing. Okay, so if you have real properties or investments or whatever, or you just want to learn how to help people because they piss you off like they did me, then you can take this course. You'll have access to all of the document lawsuit packages that I have that you could ever need for what we're doing, including the package to file against your claim against the judge, the magistrate judge, everything. You'll have access to everything. And that stuff will be yours to do what you want with it. And if you take the course, you can use those resources to help you help other people if that's something that you want to do. And this is a little bit about me. And these are, okay, so this is Shamel right here. And if anybody gives me any crap, I'm gonna have her take care of somebody. She is a fighter for real. And she's done a great job in 3 months. She posted this 3 months ago. And well, it's been a month and a half, I think, since they stopped her dad's to sell her dad's property and reverse that whole program and put them as driver of the bus. So, but anyway, yeah, you can see she needs to update this. And I asked her to do it tonight, but some people have a life and they're kind of busy. So I'm sure she'll get around to it. Shamel, you need to get it done. I'm gonna put you on, okay, never mind. I better be nice because she might come after me. Now, this is Sue and Jay Boyer, a couple that I was talking about from Texas. And they're still in their house. They're also in a group. So, you know what? I have all these people that are worried. How many have you? Who? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? You can get in a group and you can talk to these people. You can talk to them yourself and ask them how it went with, I ain't telling nobody to take my word for it to believe me. All I'm telling people is you do your homework. Okay? Do your homework. And this is Joyce. She joined about 3 months ago. She got her stuff filed, and I haven't heard anything from her, so I think they went into stall mode too. So yeah, they're going to be a little grumpy when they find out that not only do I have stuff for sale and they're claiming that I'm practicing law without a license, when it ain't even about the law, it's about public policy. But they're going to be a little more grumpy when they find out that I have a paralegal school and I'm offering the course. And yeah, I'm going to get around to the course for the eliminating property tax also, because that one seems to pluck a nerve with these attorneys. And I really like doing that. So let me turn off the share. Is there anything else I want to share with you guys? Oh, yes, there is something else I wanted to share. She's saying here that the attorneys wanted their money back. and the fraud attorneys are not giving it back. And the man told her that they was not getting involved in her stuff. And the clerk told her that her legal team gave her some powerful documents. So the man filed something in court Monday to dispute. And she found out that the circuit judge in 2018 sent her foreclosure to the magistrate judge to substitute the parties. And she told the clerk, no, they can't do that if nobody consented. All parties have to consent. And the clerk told her, she said, you're right, let me reach them. And they never called her back or told her. So she told him she wanted it removed from the record. Now, see, people don't realize that the magistrate judge don't have consent to be involved in your case don't have jurisdiction to be involved in your case without consent from all parties. And what they do is they hand your stuff down to the magistrate judge so the magistrate judge can do the thing without the district judge taking any liability. Oh. Okay, here it is. She said the clerk said, Miss Maxwell, your legal team has given you some powerful documents. And Shamel said, I said, yep, to shut y'all fraudulent asses down. See, I told you that girl ain't playing and trying to kick her daddy out on the street. Hell no. She said that the clerk just went moot because she knew the phone was recorded. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So back to this, and there's more certificate from. I'll actually copy and paste this and leave it in the comment section down below, so that anybody can use these if there's someone that's helping people and they're worried about these fools getting up in their face. Because this dude that's they got up in my face. I sent him an email yesterday, and who knows? Maybe I'll put it up here and show you guys. I sent him an email yesterday. Maybe. I don't remember what his name was. And I let him know that I would be glad to discuss this situation with him next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time on my new radio show, Foreclosure Defense 101 and more. And I gave him the call-in number, and I told him he could call in and we could discuss this on the radio show and see how we can figure out how to take care of this problem. So we'll see if he's interested in being on my radio show. Maybe I'll serve his ass while we're on the show. Yeah. But you know what? The fear is over. They already done everything they wanted to try to do to me to make me shut up, and it didn't work because I'm not a deal taker. The only time they can make you shut up is if you take the deal, and the deal ain't for you. And all the people that took the deal, they figured it out later after they got screwed because they took the deal. They find out if they wouldn't offer the deal, if they could smash you. If they can't smash you, then they want a deal. That's the way it goes. Okay, let's stop share so I can see if. Okay, let me see the chat window. I don't have the right chat window up. Okay. Like I lost my Zoom feed, so I can't see the chat window. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, I got some people here. Hey, what's up, your dad, Grandpa? MYX Capital. Guy, what are your thoughts on David Wynn Miller? I don't know who David Wynn Miller is. Matt, what's up? Angry smiley face. My pink shirt looks like a smiley face. Yeah, this is my Chiefs, and this is my Chiefs shirt. There, yeah. Chiefs, world conference champions, world champions now. Well, maybe not world, but we got to do it again now. So I don't know. So MYX Capital. I don't know who David Wynn Miller is. So you'd have to send me an email or something, or leave me a message. Hey, you guys, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell down below so when class starts, you don't miss out. And you guys, I almost have the 1,000 subscribers that I need. And I need 4,000 hours of watch time, and I'm over halfway on that. So things are moving along, but they can move a little faster. And once I qualify to monetize my site, I'm going to drop my prices even further. So that's what my plans are. So you guys help me by clicking that thing down there and subscribing down there or up there, wherever it is, and then make sure you ring the bell so that you'll get notifications when I post stuff. And what's up, your dad, Grandpa? And that's about all I have. Looks like we've been on about 52 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and call it a wrap. And I might be back on tomorrow. Hey, if you guys have anything that you'd like me to talk about, you guys make sure that you leave it in the comment section down below or send me an email or something. My email address is whenincourts1@gmail.com. And I'm also going to leave a link to my online course in case anybody's interested in it. There's that. And the last link is going to be to my website where I have the lawsuit packages that you can get, which is what Chanel is using, but she's also using a jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit that pretty much blew up everything right in the attorney's face for her. Oh, Kerry Jackson. You're welcome, Kerry Jackson. And I'm going to go extra step and leave a link to my YouTube channel just in case you guys don't know where it is. And okay, I'm going over the ads. Oh, and here is a link to my Facebook page, Foreclosure Rescue. Actually, it says in a link Foreclosure Help, but I changed it to Foreclosure Rescue. And there is that link. So Ed invested in the package, and I was wondering how it was going. Ed, are you out there? Wondering how it's going with him. And one other person invested in the package, a young lady. I'm trying to remember what her name is. So if you guys invested in the package, I'd like to have your thoughts shared with the group. So that's all I got today, guys. I will see you guys in the next feed. And make sure you keep your eye open and harass the attorneys. Okay, see if I can remember how to shut this down now. I think I got it this time. In the strand.